from this point, because he's Berg, right?
And everybody's dragging his name.
Okay. When you go home and this bullshit's going on, what's the transition? What's your mind like? Like, what's your mind like? I'm here now, and I still want to go here later. What's the plan? What's the feeling?
Well, in that era, I was still like, I'm filthy rich, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, it's not like you go home and you go like back to the P's or some shit like that. And it's like, womp, womp, womp. Like, nigga, I go to a fucking mansion with a bitch, you know what I'm saying? And holding me down and this, that, and the third. And I'm still living the high life because my records are still at a high plateau or whatever. I think that the initial change kind of happened when shit kind of like started to slow down and I started to realize that my overhead was 50 grand a month and this, that, and the third or whatever. And I'm looking, I'm taking care of niggas and I'm doing all this type of stuff. And like, I was just like, yo, I gotta pivot. Like, I gotta realize like how to take this shit another direction.
What were the changes that you made?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't think it was nothing that God made the change for me. Like this guy named Brian McKinney who played for the Minnesota Vikings or whatever.
BK?
Yeah, B-Mac, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had hit me. And he was like, man, I heard you write and produce records and this, that, and the third, and shit, I'm starting my label, you know what I'm saying? I want you to move to Miami and work with my artists and this, that, and the third. And like, I was spending like 50 grand a month with niggas living with me, and this nigga talking about he want to pay for me to move to Miami and do all this other shit. So I'm like, I just chuck deuces on niggas. Because it was quiet for me as my career as an artist, because I went through so much stuff, and B-Mac had just embraced me with open arms in a time where it wasn't cool really to be around me and offer me a space. And like, I ain't gonna lie, that nigga was so up, nigga. He was so, I owe a lot to that nigga, you know what I'm saying?
People love him, bro.
Yo, he was so,
everybody loves him, bro.
He was so rich to the point that like, the nigga just was like, fly down here, flew me down, and just put me in a crib for a year and paid all my bills or whatever. It was like, bro, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. I just paid everything, just work. And it just gave me a free open playing field to just start trying to develop me. And I was still doing mixtapes at the time and still trying to figure the vibe out or whatever, but I was able to develop and work with these different artists to where it's like, well, damn, I'm really like the producer now. Like now I am what
that was when I saw you in
what you
Miami.
were looking for that direction.
That's why you was in Miami when I saw you at prom. You was fucking with BK.
Exactly.
I mean, B-Mac.
So I was with them, and that kind of like started the evolution of my career, just moving like being comfortable.
Was Hitmaka born in that trip?
Nah, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I never sought out and was like, yo, I'm gonna be Hitmaka. You know how crazy it is to say that shit for a nigga that went through everything we just talked about and then be like, I'm finna name myself Hitmaka. I never even decided to do that. Like I literally was in Miami in that time and I was in a booth and I was just doing hooks and just doing hooks for everybody. I did a hook for, this back when Chicago started happening, like King Louis, My Hoes They Do Drugs. It's me actually on the hook with Pusha T and Juicy J on that song. Then I did DJ Infamous song, and that was the first time I ever said Hitmaka. I just went in the booth and I was like, Hitmaka, and I did a song called Double Cup featuring Young Jeezy, myself, Juicy J, and Ludacris. It was DJ Infamous single, and I was performing a hook, and that was my first time saying Hitmaka, and Infamous let me stay on the song, and he kind of like let me get that off first.
Wow. Now that's from there.
From there?
From there, yeah.
Shit. From there, I was in Atlanta, and Atlanta was really cliquey at the time. You know, Polo the Don had their people, and this, you know what I'm saying? T-Pain had his movement. Everybody had their own different shit going on. So from there, I kind of, I wrote a record for Tamar Braxton, and I ended up back in LA. And from there, that's how I ended up moving back to LA. And like that kind of like started me really getting in my bag, like, yo, like I'm finna be on this type of shit or whatever. Then from there, I ended up meeting Nicki Minaj, and then that kind of like took it over the top. And I was able to do like 5-6 records on that Pink Print album, and she ended up like really taking me under her wing, and that kind of like springboarded my career.
Shout out to Nicki.
Nah, for sure.
South Jamaica Queens in the motherfucking building at all times.
I commend him on his courage for that, because
Get the money.
South Jamaica Queen. Wait, pause for South Jamaica.
yeah.
Pause for South Jamaica and pause for Nicki Minaj. Nah, go ahead.
Nah, it's over.
Nah, Nicki good money though. I love Nicki.
So, what happened to Cap?
Still, you know, he's still my brother, you know. We don't have a relationship as we once was, but still my brother.
Do you regret that?
What, our relationship?
Yeah, like not being what it is.
Hell, bro, my nigga. You know how up I am right now? Like, I know we just went through a bad part of the story. Like, bro, like, that's like light after the motherfucking bullshit.
But
you know
being
what I'm
that
saying?
this
Like,
is the
for real.
first time that you really breaking down, like, the whole act.
Yeah.
It took a lot for you to hold that all this time.
Yeah, a lot of years.
Not really. This shit is regular shit, bro.
And
We tough
apparently,
niggas,
my
bro.
nigga, since
Nah.
13, nigga,
Yeah.
you
Different mental
You been
tough
out of here.
niggas.
That shit-
We tough
He don't
niggas,
read
man.
comments. He don't care about all
It's
that
not
stuff.
about that. It's what he's been through from since 13, from the concentration camp to all this shit, being on
Everything.
world.
Everything.
So for 23 years of your life, it's just been fuckery, high levels, ex passing away. That's one of your mentors, your idols.
Yeah.
You have no excuse. Have no fucking excuse.
Yeah.
You got a dream, you out
Yeah.
there, you watching this show and you talk about all the shit in front of you. All the shit that this guy went through, you have no fucking excuse. And if you watching my show, you definitely know.
And you know what's crazy?
Ain't no excuse, bro.
There's people that don't know him as Young Berg. Before the interview started, it's like you're like Kobe Bryant #8 and
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant 24.
It's mad niggas that be like, oh, Hitmaker. And it's mad people like, I didn't know Young Berg was Hitmaker. Like, I think that this year kind of like
That's dope.
evolved
Yeah.
and people kind of like put it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, Young
Some
Berg is
people didn't know
Hitmaker,
Titty
like-
Boy was 2 Chainz.
Exactly.
Real shit.
That's fact.
Rebranding.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I was around for all that
Brandon was a
shit.
motherfucker.
But the thing is, man, what I want people to take away from this shit, like, cause when all that shit happened, and then I was just mad resilient, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on a different level. And then from there, it started, then Nicki, then like my whole breakthrough was like Big Sean bounced back. That was my first time I got like a real, I think that record is like 7 times platinum, Super Bowl commercials, all type of shit, no sample, no nothing. That was like my first real big check. That's my first time seeing a royalty. I got like a royalty, it was like $500,000. My dad called me. I'm like, what
That's
the
your
fuck,
first
nigga?
time?
Yeah, like.
Wow.
He
Like,
still manage you?
Who, my dad?
Yeah.
He's my business manager for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
My dad is, my dad is a multi-millionaire.
I'm just
shit,
curious.
know
So
what
you
I'm
got
saying? We keep the money in the
500,000.
family. So like for me to see that, and then from there, to become vice president of A&R at Atlantic Records, sell like 40 million records with them or whatever, to do all this other stuff. It's just to put so many different people on. Like the amount of people that I put on around me in this whole career as Hitmaker, and just like, not even like put on to where it's like, you need to credit me or thank me, but just like my perseverance and my hard work and people just being around me with my hard work has been able to bleed into their lives unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could work with a writer or a producer and not even think about that shit, but you in a studio with me, you start taking pictures with me and we start playing some shit and I get a little Instagram story or 2 off, you're gonna get a publishing deal immediately. Like, it's not even think about.
Right.
Or if you're an artist and you're around me, you're gonna get an artist deal. Like, and it's a reflection of everything that's around me. There's nobody around me that does not have a deal.
Can I say something
Everybody
selfish?
has a deal. Uh-huh.
How long you in town for?
Hey, shit, I'm here, you know what I'm saying, 2 more days.
Math.
Now we gotta go in the studio.
Let's see.
There's nobody that ever spends any time around me that has never got a deal or anything, bro. And like, you gotta think right now, look at this shit, bro. Like, I'm sitting here with my brother Neek Bucks, one of the best out of Harlem. Like, you know what I'm saying? This man is
Been
fucking
killing.
amazing. It's my brother. And then not only that, like, look at radio right now. Like, 13 songs out of 50 are mine.
Can we run down the list?
I mean, I'm already in my bag, but you know what I'm saying?
Keep going.
My single, Tink single, Megan Thee Stallion, Plan B, fucking Lakia, Mind Your Business, Aaron Ray. Like, it's just multiple. Like, I don't even want to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't brag on these niggas. Don't brag on
Don't be
these
modest.
niggas.
Nah,
I don't want to
Don't
even
let
do
them.
that.
Don't let them even get you like that. Fuck them.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel